All right, so I'm really excited about this video because today we're going to do a first impressions of the Audient iD4 Mark II. Up next. Okay, so the Audient iD4, the Mark II, this is the solo version. They do have other versions as well, but we're gonna do, like I said before, an impressions and unboxing of this. Now, right now, what you're hearing is me using the original, the Audient iD4. This is, I guess you would say this is the Mark I, but I wanna use this one first to kind of give you something comparable to kind of see what the differences may be. In future videos, I'll do a more in-depth comparison video, but just right now, because we're going to do an unboxing of this, we need something to record with, and I'm choosing right now to use the iD4 as the original. Just to get familiar with this, familiar with the iD4, you can see right now, you know, what it looks like. Nice solid casing. You got your big buttons, your input DAW mix, your mic volume, and your gain. Just kind of give you a sense of where I am. You can see right here on the dial, I'm probably at maybe like 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30. Yeah, no, like 2 o'clock. And I'm peaking right now probably around -9 decibels on my Sennheiser MKH416. So give you a good sense of what it sounds like. Oh, and on top of that, I'm also using these DT77 Pros to monitor myself so we can see what the output is, comparison different as well. Of course, like I said before, I'm going to do more in-depth comparisons, but this is just our overall impressions. All right, so let's take a look at the iD4. You know, we got right here on the back, you know, of course, you got the one ID preamplifier, class-leading 88 DA converters, one discrete JF instrument input, dual headphone outputs, which is cool, one speaker output, monitor mix and pan, monitor control function, low latency monitoring, scroll control, USB 3.0, USB 3.0 bus powered, which is a big difference compared to this one. This one's USB 2.0. 24-bit and 96 kilohertz, which we are recording right now in 96 kilohertz on the iD4, iOS compatible, which is interesting, and also an all metal controller enclosure. All right, so let's open this up and let's get it, man. All right, we've got our quick start guide on how to set it up. Download your drivers. I already downloaded a driver, and it seems like it uses the same driver between the iD4 and the Mark II. All right, so here we go. We'll open this up. Yeah, guys, you're going through this with me. Oh, look at that! I didn't even do it nice. I did it dirty. All right, so there we go. There's a side-by-side comparison. Right, you've got your gunmetal finish. The buttons are the same. Yeah, feel the same. Yeah, a little different. The texture is a little different. Actually, the design of the knobs is different compared to the original one, where it has kind of a thing going on at the bottom. And yeah, so different. How's it feel? Yeah, it feels good. Nice buttons, control, pushes. It's got the same meters and everything. Same headphones. You know, the DI out instrument and 2 mic jacks. We have our stereo out, our USB-C, phantom power, 1 input. And on the iD4, we can see it's USB 2.0. We have our stereo outs as well, phantom power, and of course the in. So it's very similar in design, not much difference. But the difference is all about the innards and not just the outside. So let's go ahead. Let's switch this out. You've got a good example of what it means to, I guess, what this sounds like for a comparison like that. And you can just jump back and forth in the video to kind of give you a sense. So yeah, let's do for comparison's sake. What did you do today at a minute or two to two for a thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do? For there'll beat it to two, a 20 to two, a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-two, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum at a minute or two to two today, at a minute or two to two. All right, let's switch this out. All right, so now that we have the iD4 Mark II all set up again, we can see the differences within the settings. I have about the gain set the same way, input all the way, and yeah, so it's very similar. Use the same drivers, but now how does it sound? And you probably know before me, but I did a lot of tests, or I've been using the Audient iD4 a while, and it has a great sound. One thing, if I can say, compared to anything, well, it has more of a higher characteristic sound. And just before, well, let's put these headphones on right now, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions and my impressions. And right now, overall, just hearing the iD4 Mark II, it feels like it has a bit of of a warmer sound, more of a warmer presence kind of sound. Whenever I use the ID4, it had a very clear sound, but it really wasn't anywhere in the warm end, and I feel like I'm getting a lot of warmth from the Audient ID4. Now, one of the main reasons why I got the ID4 Mark II is that my main audio interface is the Audient iD4, which is a super high-end class preamp. And I originally got the Audient iD4, so whenever I have to do on-the-go jobs, I can have something that sounds similar to my iD4, and that's really what it's all about. Whenever you're doing voiceovers, you really want to have redundant gear, so your sound is not sounding too different. So I opted for the Audient iD4. Now, the Audient iD4 doesn't have the same preamps as the iD4. While it does have good preamps, it's not the same as that. So of course my sound is going to sound different. Now with the Audient iD4, the Mark II, they're saying that the preamps are more in line and more comparable with the iD4. And that's probably the biggest selling point for me as far as making a decision to get the Mark II, because I want my sound to sound as close as it can to the original. Of course, when I do my voiceovers, I'm going to be using the MKH416. So I've got to keep my setup as similar as possible. Get that redundancy. So yeah, so right now, my main differences that I'm telling you right now is number one, you've got the USB 3.0, right? So you don't have to use a 2.0, and it just plugs into my laptop using the 3.0 interface. That's really cool. I have to use an adapter because my laptop uses USB 3.0. I really like the design. The design looks good. It looks way sexier than this one. I appreciate the way this one looks, but I really like the design and look of this one. I do miss the green lights that were here, like in this one, but these lights are nice. They're serviceable. But I won't be looking at my interface all day long to have like man, I really miss the green lights. I love the feel and the look of it. It just really looks good. Let's talk about the microphone. The headphone preamp, and it is powering these DT770s a little better. Whenever I would use this on the iD4, it sounded great. This was strong enough to power these headphones for listening purposes. So if I'm listening to something on YouTube or I'm listening to a mix, it's strong enough to power that. But if I'm recording, if I'm tracking, obviously you're not going to record your voice at a high level, right? So the volume would always have to be a little lower, and I would really have to drive the volume on this to feed this just so I could hear myself, but at the same time not pumping up the noise floor on the gain of my mic. I hope I'm making sense. So what am I trying to say here? This will power these headphones strong enough for just a listening experience or a mixing experience, but not so much for a recording experience where you're tracking yourself. Now, this one does do a better of a job when that comes. I can go, oh yeah. I hear myself plenty louder right now, even though I'm kind of maxing it out. It does give me that I do have that little bit of extra room, but yeah, it does have the ability to power these headphones better than this one. So that's for sure. And I think on the box, it said, I don't know, I read somewhere it does power microphones up to 600 ohms. Again, if you're tracking or you're listening, completely two different experiences. So keep that in mind. Completely two different requirements between recording and then just listening or mixing. Overall, I got to say, I really like I'm happy with the sound of this. Again, I'm getting that nice warmer sound from the Audient iD4, using the same cables, using the same microphone that I use for anything else. So I'm gonna get a very comparable. And as I'm looking at my my WAV files right here, even though we're kind of set at the same, my line is coming my signal is coming a little hotter than this one. So I can tell right now that even though we're at the same place, I do get a hotter signal compared to the other one. Now let's talk about the noise floor. Well, I'm just gonna stop talking. Let's just see what we get. So for this example, in this room within this environment, and I do hear the fans on my PC kind of blaring. And what about here? Yeah, the fans on a laptop, they're going as well. So I'm getting about a negative 49 decibels on the noise floor. And again, the microphone is not in a completely silent room. This is just, it's a realistic environment, right? Got a PC running back there. I've got the fans on this laptop running right here. And that's that. Now, probably should have said in the beginning, but I'm not going to do any additional post when it comes to the audio for this. It's just about, I'm just going to bring it up and then you're just going to hear it as is. And yeah, all right, so that's my first impressions of the iD44. Do I think it's a better upgrade over the iD4? Well, for two reasons. If you're trying to get more in line of the iD44, the higher end preamps on that device. Oh wow, the fans are really blowing right now, and I'm hearing it. It depends. If you're really trying to get more in line on the iD44, absolutely. I still like the way the Audient iD4, the original one, performs. I still think it's a great sound, but again, for the purposes of trying to get close to the iD44, I really like what it's delivering here. Again, let me do the comparison like I did before. What did to do today at a minute or two to two? A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For they'll beat at 2 at 20 to 2, or rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-2, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum at a minute or two to two today, at a minute or two to two. And let's compare it real quick to the previous one. What did to do today at a minute or two to two? For a thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do. For they'll beat it at 2 at 20 to 2, a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-2, and the dragon will come when he hears the drum at a minute or two to two today, at a minute or two to two. All right, let's switch this out. All right, so go back and forth as much as you want, and I feel like the fan is really getting in the way. But yeah, go back and forth as much as you want, and let me know in the comment down below which one you prefer or like better. I think this is $199, and this is kind of like $189 or like $170. They dropped it just a bit, but they're both great deals. Again, if you're solo, if you're just going on the go like I am, then either of these are great. But if you're trying to get more in line with the higher end preamps, as they promise here, then go with the Mark II. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Definitely like this. All right, guys, that is it. Hopefully you liked this video. Leave a like if you liked it. If you love this kind of videos, then go ahead and subscribe. And as always, learn, do, share. I should have said this earlier, but I'll leave links down below for everything here that I have here if you're interested and want to get some more information on it. Until next time, guys, I said already, learn, do, share. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, look at these two twins. They're so cute together, right? Yeah, but I'm sorry. Bye.